Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 9 Japanese destroyer Kagero. It has 6 main guns, 8 torpedoes, 19 AA guns, a surface detection of 6 kilometers top speed, 37 knots, total hull 15,100. For my modules, reduced chance on torpedo tubes and propulsion, faster torpedo aim, faster rudder shift, and concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower cooldown on torpedoes, superintendent, and last stand. We are on the map north, and I was instructed, along with my friendly DD, to go after A. Totally comfortable doing that. We're already at A. We see an enemy cruiser. Nothing else so far. We are capturing A. The team is going for B, C, and D. We'll see how successful that is. It's based on the enemy deployment. So far, there's only an enemy cruiser in this area. Looks like a battleship has not moved yet since the beginning of the match. But we can infer that this is not the flank they want to push, based on how many ships we see out there. There is 4 destroyers per side, so there is a lot of hidden ships, but we already see at least 3 ships headed towards B and C. Now, I like to send my torpedoes, so they're in a narrow spread, and they're bordered right next to each other. So you kind of make just one wave of 8. And unfortunately, I send them right as the enemy aircraft flies over. This cruiser knows exactly what I wanted to do, and now he can maneuver to avoid it. As you play and go up in your tier, you run into better and better players, more aware. There's also more reaction time that wargaming builds into the visibility of torpedoes. So you gotta be sneaky, right? You can't rely on just straight being better than the player, because they all understand that torpedoes are incoming. They'll have their fighters up that provide even more warning. And it looks like he's getting more warning again. You can see his aircraft is going to show up right now, and it was right over the torpedoes when they were relevant for him. You can see it's flying overhead again. We engage the enemy cruiser, and the second he's ready to fire, we pop smoke and we hide. And in doing so, we were the ones spotting the enemy cruiser. I had no idea that my friendly had used his smoke. He's not in range, and I didn't really see him firing on this guy, so yeah. I guess it just worked out that way. Finally he spotted. I think my friendly left the safety of his smoke, and he's taking fire, and that's unfortunate. But I'm trying to do as much damage as I can while remaining in stealth. So he's completely not looking at me because he can't engage me. And every single gun rotation we're firing, trying to land on that superstructure, that little command tower in front of the smokestacks. That's the ideal location for HE to land. Anything that's above the hull, obviously. Now we do pretty good damage. Torpedoes are back up, but he is moving away at a harsh angle. Not a high probability of success with that send. So we hold on to our torpedoes. Enemy destroyer is trying to capture A, but a friendly appears to be keeping him off of it. He just took damage, and it reset the cap. Most of my team is over by C, I would say. We've unsuccessfully attacked D, and now the enemy can capture it. We only have 1 ship in that area, but we are capturing C. As long as we keep A, or keep the enemy from taking A, we will reduce the ability of the enemy to fight us. And that's an easy job for destroyers, to be a nuisance. It's kind of in the job description. Destroyer. Everyone hates us, and we hate everyone. I have rarely found someone who enjoyed going up against a destroyer that was commanded with skill. Doesn't matter what destroyer you're in, Japanese, US, even Soviet, they'll find something frustrating about you. And I learned that the hard way in my Soviet. I've really come to embrace it's a light cruiser. I'm going to engage you at my max range and keep peppering you. They don't like it. It's too easy for you to do damage if you have good accuracy, and it's too hard for them to catch your little itty-bitty destroyer. So it doesn't matter how you kill them. They're always going to be frustrated by you because they feel like destroyers shouldn't be able to kill me. Yeah, that's not how the game works, buddy. We're kind of a counter to a really big ship, and If you're a really big ship, you can expect us to counter you. Which friendly destroyer with his 15 torpedoes sends them all out on the enemy North Carolina. Enemy Shimakaze flashes in front. We're going to engage, and we have another destroyer. Wow, this just became really terrifying. We land 2 of our 6 rounds, do minimal damage. We land a lot more on the next salvo. The enemy destroyer in his pumpkin camouflage is just sitting there. You notice I'm not using it because XP is not a limiting factor for me. Credits are. I've already earned the tier 9 cruisers. I just have to pay for them, and that's the hardest part. I don't want to speed up the XP gain of my battleships because I'm not going to have the credits to even pay for them. Or my destroyers, because I just can't afford it. I've got to get something like 30 million credits in order to get the ships I want, and it's just maybe leveling every single line was a bad idea, but it certainly provides variety for you all, and that's the most important thing. The enemy destroyer shows up again. I don't think he has the concealment module or the commander skill. This is really far out that he can be spotted, and he's a tier 10. Just weird that you wouldn't have the module or the skill in a tier 10. That's something you really need. If you're in a tier 10, hell, if you're in any destroyer and you can equip the concealment module, you need to do it. It really transforms the way you play the game. And we're trying to just engage targets. We know we're spotted, and we're gonna wait until the very last moment to pop our smoke. Other than this weird citadel ringing in my ears, we haven't taken much damage. Enemy destroyer sent out torpedoes. We gotta slow down just enough that we're not gonna hit it. The torpedoes we sent out might get over to the enemy battleship. He's very low. This is kind of overkill, but I don't have range. That's one of the things the Japanese give up. They give up range. So we're going to just go after the Shimakaze. And we finish off the Shimakaze. And it looks like the North Carolina is... Is he going to get away? Is he going to get away? No, he's not. We get a double strike. Nice. Didn't do a lot of damage. We just did the damage that mattered. Usually I hold my fire. That guy was getting away. The destroyer that did most of the damage did not have range, so we had sent them out, and eventually they got to the target just really late after a friendly destroyer nearly killed him. But at least he's dead. I confirmed that the enemy torpedoes were not coming from behind. I don't know where the last destroyer... We know there's one somewhere hidden over here, but I don't know where that second destroyer is. The New Orleans is running. Don't blame him. He doesn't have any backup anymore. Baltimore's on an intercept course for the northern part of A, and we want to keep in mind that he could be a potential torpedo target. I like to hold. I'll wait to see if the enemy is going to maintain his direction, which he does, so we send out our torpedoes on him. And you can see, perfect example, we basically extended both of our pods to form one large A pod in a narrow spread. Very hard to avoid. You would have to kind of know this is coming in order to avoid the damage. It doesn't appear he has any knowledge of this. You can see how tight these torpedoes are. There's really no opening for him to exploit. And that's exactly how I like it. He's trying to avoid it, but it's too late, man. They're right on top of you. This guy can't fit inside of those. 3 torpedoes, and see you later, Baltimore. We get devastating strike, and his aircraft was not helpful. You can see it's overhead right now. I was able to fit those torpedoes inside the area where the aircraft did not patrol. And in that scenario, the Baltimore would have just had to realize there was a threat of a destroyer. And obviously he didn't. Either he forgot there were destroyers down here, or he was just too focused on trying to help his teammate, and I can understand that. Just too brazen to sail into the area and not maneuver that much. So it was a pretty quick game. We were able to hold A, and we were going to get some kills. 3 kills, double strike, devastating. 2,105 base XP, just solid, clean game. 50,000 points of damage. Hope you enjoyed seeing this ship. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.